We are back. We are live. We are, I think, good. I was trying to stream with Kick and with YouTube because I was like, hey, let's try something new. Let's try like a double, you know. But that did not work. So I gotta fix whatever was going on in the background. Either way, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing some streams on Kick. I don't know, just for fun. See what happens. Just because I figured, or I'm thinking that that might be a better platform to stream, maybe than YouTube, maybe not. I don't know. I want to test it out. Never tested it out. Never used Twitch, but I want to use Kick and try it out. So that's a plan for eventually. Not right now though. But in the meantime, we may do some additional streams on Kick and then usual streams here, just because why not? As we're experimenting with the platform. So nothing imminent, but maybe something to think about at some point in the future. But the S&P today is up or down, sorry, 0.5%. We are going to get NVIDIA earnings in about like an hour, and we'll be here for that. Hopefully. They don't come out too late, and we'll see the reaction to that. We'll pull up a bunch of charts like usual. We'll get into the charts. We're kind of just going to go from there. Oh, shoot. There you go. Had a little blockage of the camera. I think we're good. Yeah, I was just checking settings and stuff before, and I think I was fucking things up. Another thing that I was going to do, I think, is because you know what, guys? Like, I am bored of sitting in silence at times, because a lot of times what the reality of this stuff is that we just sit here sometimes and we, I don't want to just say and spew, have to feel like I gotta spew some shit. So I think I'm gonna try to throw in some tunes. The problem is that obviously you have to deal with the copyright stuff. So we're gonna have to go with some no copyright music, which could be a little, I don't know. But back in the day, the no copyright stuff, I remember I was listening to, or not listening to, but I would throw it in some old stuff, and it was kind of cool. So maybe I'll do that. We'll see. We'll see, but that's something to be thinking about. I'm going to get that set up probably by next week, and this will be kind of be an experimental next couple of days, but otherwise, same old. What's going on, Miguel? Target took a hit. Yes, I did see that. They got crushed on earnings. It's up off the lows a bit. It was down around 140, and it's bounced back a few bucks, but not a great look on Target as of late. Although is it super surprising to me? I don't know. It had made a big move from the 105 area all the way up to the 180 area, and it pulled back, and now it's kind of just doing its thing. NVIDIA is the big one for today. It's down about 1.5% or 1.4% right now, but we are very close to all-time highs. So you are looking at either a crackdown of this trend right here, or like a massive breakout to highs. Now, has it had a bad earnings? Let's see. No, honestly, it's this last earnings was good. Gap up. The earnings before that, nothing happened back then, really. Not much happened. And then you got to go back before that, not much happened. And then there's this. So it really kind of, what it's done was, you had a couple big earning gap ups, and then a couple nothing burgers, really, over the past like year and a half or so. That's been kind of the deal on NVIDIA. Made some money on McDonald's and Starbucks. Nice, dude. Let's see. MCD does not look like the strongest stock by any means. You actually definitely had like, your head and shoulders set up, boop, 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 and now it's rolling over. I don't like the look of it right here. There's actually a lot of charts that I don't love the looks of from a bullish perspective, but then I think it's like, well, the overall market's so strong. So I'm like, I don't know. AMC, it's up 4%. It did give it's actually, let's take a look. As of late, yeah, it is ripping a little bit this afternoon. Yeah, it is. Can't deny it. Question is, though, how much does it have in the tank? Like you can look at it a couple of ways. Like this is kind of a micro version. This chart is like a micro of what the bigger picture chart was like a few months, or you zoom out a couple of years, and it looks very similar. A big spike, and then it kind of had this big drawdown, consolidate, and then it would just kind of goof, get hit, consolidate for a bit, boom, get hit again. So does this have legs to come back? Highs of last, you got to get above 5, but even above 5, there's no guarantees. No guarantees. Starbucks. Ooh, look at that trender. Very nice trender. 4%er on the day. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Recovering this big gap down off of their earnings from a few weeks ago, or it's trying to recover some of it. Oil's down over 1%, which this does kind of have like bear flag vibes to me, you know, but at the same time, the last 2 times it got down here, big lower wicks. So a little skeptical of that. I would not be super jacked up about. I'm not touching that. Silver's down 3.5%. It had a massive run, and it's coming back a little bit off of where it was. I just charted this out. Was trying to, well, it just couldn't break that 32.50 area, and now it's rolling over. But now it's going to potentially. We'll see if it comes back into here. There could be a setup there on silver for a trade at some point for me. We'll see. We'll see. Bitcoin, 1-hour chart. Kind of in consolidation after its decent move the past couple of weeks or past couple of days. Had this consolidation here, big push, pulled back. Now let's see what it does. I am in a trade on Bitcoin. I have a long on Bitcoin on the daily time frames. I entered somewhere in here, and stop loss is here, but I'm targeting like 80, up near 80K, so I got a big ass target on it. But yeah, I think the risk reward is still like 1.7, 1.8, maybe it's even better than that. Let me just double check what it is from here. Let's see. 60K stop roughly was my area, and then 80K target. Oh yeah, it's actually well above a 2-to-1 risk reward. Sorry, better trade than I thought, or better risk reward than I thought. But yeah, that's on the bigger time frame, so I'm just letting it do its thing. There's no rush, and it's more of like a big picture swing. The chart, yeah, Unity. This is the one that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. I remember distinctly talking about this one, and I was like, yeah, I don't like it. The only problem was that just the timing was weird. Here's the weekly. Like, you have got a very nice consolidation breakdown. The problem was inside of this breakdown, I believe there was an earnings involved, so you had to kind of like deal with the earnings. Yeah, that was on May 9th, so that was here. So it broke down, came back up above the level a little bit, and then broke down after earnings, and then has just been, you know, dive bombing since. So chart looks like shit. It looks like an amazing short, but it was tough to, it would have been tough to hold, for me to hold through that. But damn, that's a good one. And the other play that I had short was X, United States Steel. Little, not weird, but like kind of a random trade for me, but also chart made sense, so I took it. It was really a weekly time frame, same thing as the other ones, the Bitcoin idea. Both of these are on a weekly time frame, so I'm not really in a rush. And so stop loss is going to go over high of the breaking candle, which is here on the short, and targeting roughly a 2-to-1, I think. What is the target here? 1.5 to 1 actually, so it's not even 2 to 1. Guess you. I mean, that's the reason why I had that target though. Is I zoom out and you look at this volume profile, you get to a decent little volume node just under 32. So I'm like, okay, 32 kind of is like a nice psychological spot. So I think that's a good target to have. And also, it's a new ticker. I have never traded this ticker before. So I feel like on those types of, no, I feel like those are the types of tickers that I'll be a little more conservative on my targets. Whereas Bitcoin, I know can freaking move. So, you know, that one I'm very comfortable with a 2-to-1 or more risk reward on it. But yeah. Oh yeah, I also have Booking, which now I'm not loving, but this one I got in on the break here above this 38.10 area. Today's candle not the best, although we'll see what happens. It's got to fall under the lows of the other candle, so we'll see. So we'll see, but it's not looking amazing. Market's weak today, so I'm not super surprised by that. But yeah, so that's the trades that I currently have open. 3 though, I guess. Yeah, there is one on eBay that I'm thinking about that will be very, I will trade this like 100%. I will take it. It will be on the weekly time frame though. So waiting for the alert to go off on eBay if we get it. Let me just reset that alert just because I think it went off. I'm just going to reset her. $53 crossing. Boom. So yeah, eBay above 53 I like for a breakout trade targeting 57 plus. That's what I would look at, or like 57 is kind of the idea. So we'll see. We'll see. We got GM that was maybe thought of as an idea, but it just rejected the breakout. So no go. Costco, I think it was traded a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago. I don't think I'm going to trade that, but I have it on the list. AVGO, not really interested. It was a good maybe idea for the breakout a couple days ago. Yeah, man. Fucking still need to catch up on sleep. Oh, God. But you know those afternoon tiredness you get? It's hitting me hard right now because I didn't really sleep well. I slept like an hour and a half Saturday night, and then I've just slept normal since, like slept my normal like 7.5 hours. Maybe try to get 8, but you never get 8 perfectly. The past like 2 nights or 3 nights. How many nights? It's been a lot more nights. Oh man, my mind is all messed up too. But yeah, I feel like I'm still behind. Is what I'm saying. We'll catch up eventually. The AMC does look like she's getting some volume too. She's getting some volume. Affirm down 5+%. What does this chart look like? Not interested. ARC in the holding pattern. Tesla was really good yesterday. Now today, nothing. ExxonMobil with oil down. Oh, Exxon's getting hit. Lawsuit challenging activist investors climate proposal. They got a little lawsuit going on. Look at how it rejected. It kind of like it broke the all-time high or the prior high. But look at that perfect rejection at that exact spot. Yeah, that's a chart that it's just a little. It's like it's gotten up here how many times now, and it hasn't like just been able to say fuck it, let's go. You know, it kind of tried for a bit, but then that just failed, and then it's just tough when you look at oil, and it's like, well, I would, I would think you gotta see oil pushing up into here for you to really let ExxonMobil rip. But it's not doing that, so you're in the same range on oil, so you just don't have that behind it. Rivian's up 5% today. How was Lucid? I saw a Lucid on the road yesterday for the first time in a while. Lucid Motors or Lucid Group is a sub $3 stock. Damn. That's crazy. Also not, though. BMI, yeah. I lost like 4 or 5 pounds, I want to say. The morning or like 2 or 3 days before the race, I was like 176 in the morning. And then the race morning, I was eating more too. But sometimes it's how it goes. I don't know how, whatever. Like maybe I was holding more water. I don't know. But the race morning, I was like 174 and a half. And then like the day after the race, or like I guess a day and a half after the race, because the day after the race, I came home. Technically, I got home Sunday morning, which I had finished the race at 3:15 a.m. Sunday morning. So I got home Sunday at like 6 a.m. and weighed myself, and I was like 172 something, which is not bad. But then like the next, I weighed myself Monday morning, and I was 170-ish. So I did lose like at least 4 pounds. And then like today I was like 171. So I'm trying to gain a couple back, but no, not that bad. Not that devastating in terms of weight loss. That I don't think it'll be too difficult to gain it back, little by little. Although, I think my watch was telling me, look at mRNA, by the way, crazy move. My watch was calculating, I believe I burnt, like from whatever the watch. I mean, now, hey, you take it for however you see, you can look at it as, I look at it as like, my watch generally tells me how many calories I burn a day. And like, I don't care if that number is accurate or not. It doesn't really matter because I know how much I eat roughly each day, and then I know if I'm going to gain weight. If I'm going to gain weight or not, we'll make them change if we have to off of that, depending upon the goals. But the watch said I burnt like 10,000 calories throughout the race, which there's obviously no way you were able to eat 10,000 calories while running 60 miles. So yeah, I mean, I did my best during the race. A shit ton of peanut butter and jellies, and whatever else I can get my hands on. But yeah, so now it's a game of eating more. And the funny thing is, you'd think I would think I'd be a lot hungrier, but I haven't really been that hungry the past couple of days, which is interesting. It's kind of been like, I don't want to say a chore to eat, but it's like, yep, we need to make sure we eat because I know I lost a couple of pounds and I know I burnt a lot of calories, so I need to recover. I need to eat more. But it's like almost like my body is not telling me like, oh my God, you're so hungry. It's just kind of like, whatever. Maybe that's because I'm tired still. Once I figure and catch up fully on sleep, maybe it's going to be like ripping. And also, other part of it is that I'm just not as active as I was because my legs are a little kind of shot. I went to the gym the past 2 days, but the legs are not the greatest condition to be able to be super active without things hurting. So I'm taking it easy. So maybe that's part of it too. I'm just like too stationary or too like, yeah, stationary. So it's like I'm not burning and feeling like I need to eat more. I see a lot of Rivians. I've seen a lot of them, and they seem to be much more popular than Lucid. But stock-wise, what's the market cap on it on Rivian? Rivian's market cap, it says here, is 10.5 billion. Lucid says it's 6.63 billion. Because you can look at the stock price and say, oh, wow, the stock price is so much lower on Lucid. But yeah, but they're take it with a grain of salt because you got to talk about market cap. So Lucid has it's almost half the market cap of Rivian, but a little more than half the market cap, like 60% of the market cap that Rivian has. But yeah, I think there's just like, if I jump over to the S&P and stuff, let's take a look at that chart. How SPY looks. Not much to talk about the past couple of days, really, right? It's kind of just like we did break out to all-time highs on Wednesday the 15th, so like a week ago, literally a week ago today. We broke out to all-time highs, but like not much has happened since that day. There's been a couple ups, couple of downs, but it's not really much. We haven't really moved very much above 531 was the highs, 531.50-ish. Like no consistent push above that, which, well, I'm curious if we're going to get that. You know what I mean? Like if we're going to get that like thrust through the highs here and like blast through and then not look back for a couple of weeks, or if it's going to just kind of peter out and be boring, which is possible. But the more interesting move was actually on Ethereum. So like Bitcoin made a big pop, I guess, but the move on ETH, I guess this is fine. Ethereum futures. Ethereum just made a massive move. Like that move was big. From where it rolled off the lows, pretty much you had a move of like 30+%, which is Bitcoin made a big move, but 30+% is pretty freaking big. Bitcoin off of like this rolling low here, off the lows that it rolled up from, 15. So like almost double the move you got in Ethereum, which is kind of cool. And you hadn't been getting that because it was kind of like lagging Bitcoin. But now maybe that's trying to change the tide, right? We're trying to see if the tables are going to turn here. Maybe you're going to get some better gains on Ethereum if the bull market continues. AMC's popping. AMCB popping. $5 buckarooskies. It does tempt me, like, and I'm not going to do that because then it's breaking rules, right, of my stuff, but it does tempt me just to start like initiating like on every spike on AMC now after the big spike up and then the rollover. It's like, oh my God, man. It's like you almost have that like, oh, it's probably going to be such easy money on the way down. And in hindsight, you're going to look back like, yeah, I knew it was going to drop. I knew it was going to drop. But, you would be shorting into just an absolute random move, which, I mean, maybe you'll be right, but at the same time, you could get blown out. So, it's not a good practice or not a good idea to be doing that. And just it could snowball into other habits or you to like, do more stupid shit that you don't need to do. Because again, what you're really thinking about is like, oh, I think it's gonna. If you're gonna short it now, well, I think this stock is gonna go back down to $3 at some point. So I think it's gonna roll over, and I'm gonna make money. I mean, yeah, maybe it will, but can you replicate that across like a bigger, sample size? Probably not, because you're gonna probably have situations where you get blown out, and then how do you handle those blowouts? Most people are not gonna be able to handle them very well. I'm probably dehydrated too. Lightly dehydrated. Yeah, SPY's trying to bounce back a little bit. Yeah. Did take a nice dump and then it's snapping right back. At least it's trying to do that. But yeah, I'm hopeful that NVIDIA earnings come out like somewhat on time, because we've seen that happen in the past where they don't come out on time and we're like just waiting for hours, it feels like. Half hour after close, and it's like, okay, guys. Not that that's like the thing that's going to matter necessarily, but it's going to move a lot of stocks, like SMCI, for example, and it's choppy, just consolidation. You got AMD. Where's AMD at right now? AMD, same thing. Hasn't really moved the past couple of days. I can get rid of some of these lines because they are now old lines that don't matter to us. TSM. That one's doing pretty good. SMH. Looks like it's trying to break out for a new all-time high, but again, I would imagine, again, it doesn't really matter. Like, you can't really say anything until NVIDIA pops off. Or it doesn't, or drops off. But that's what we're gonna see. Nowadays, or now is the time of year, man, it's just heating up. So it's almost like just constantly sweating. I think that's like I have a problem with, not bad, but like a minor like back knee kind of issue or breakout situation. It looks like I got looks like there's like a bunch of like little bug bites all over like the back of my shoulders and my back. And I think it has to do with sweat and like just sweating and then keeping the same shirt on for like a little longer than it probably needs to be. And then, or like not even sweating that much, but just kind of like sweating throughout the day and then showering at night. The days I run, I shower twice a day. But the days I lift, I just shower once a day. I don't sweat that much with that, but I think that's probably causing part of the problem. I don't know. And it kind of got exacerbated with the race and stuff this weekend. Because, like, I was in the same sweaty clothes for about 19 hours. There's the hammer. But again, right, AMC goes to 520s. Now it's back to 5 within, a couple minutes. There's just no, like, it's random because you look back at the 1 hour, like, dude, I'd be so cautious of that. It's almost like a false breakout. But I don't see the setup, but it's like almost like a false breakout. GameStop not doing anything like that though. AMC kind of doing its own thing. GameStop tried to get going, but here's the other problem too with like if you play these things and you can't buy or sell shares, like you get stuck in one of these. Oh, your options are fucked. Your options are rocked. But now it's like if you want to pick a directional move, if you're like, hey, I think it's going to go up or down. After it's consolidated for a couple of days, well, now you got a better opportunity because it's consolidated for a couple of days. Chances of that consolidation breaking increase each day that goes by. Oh yeah, the nipple chafing. I luckily don't or have never experienced that, but I know a lot of people who do have that problem. And it's gross because like I've seen people with like literally bloody shirts, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, it's the nipple chafe. So people tape their nipples. I've never had the problem, so I never have to worry about it. But I did have the like under here and stuff. Oh man, after like 30 miles, that was starting to chafe up. Luckily, I had some stuff, but then here the problem was that we had like you're out there for so long that we had a thunderstorm, so all of my lube, my like chafing lube, essentially washed away because there was a thunderstorm and it rained so hard it just washed everything off. And then once it stopped raining, it was nighttime, and at that point you're moving slower because all mud. You're 50 miles in, body can't move as fast, just naturally, and it's getting I won't say cooler, has nothing to do with it. So you're just moving slower, so you're not, and the temperature's cooler, so you're not sweating as much. And so then like the chafe begins. That's when the chafe begins. And it was kind of awful at times. I was happy to get in the shower once I got home and it wasn't that bad because like once you get in the shower after like you chafe or you have some rashes and shit, like oh my god, that could burn so bad. Luckily, it was not that bad, but I was feeling it at least for a period of time during the race. And then at the aid stations, they luckily had like Vaseline. So I at one of the aid stations, I just grabbed a chunk of Vaseline and I was like, all right, see you guys. And then like it was night. So halfway out on the trail, once I knew no one was around, I was like just hands deep in the pants because I had some chafing problems that were occurring. And I was like, I still got 10 miles to go. So this needs to get fixed right now. And it kind of helped, but it didn't really totally fix it, but it was better than nothing. But yeah, now I know like it just there's other parts to the game as the longer you go, because then more things can and will probably happen that you'll have to adjust to. Luckily, my feet were good. My feet were pretty good. Didn't have any problems there, but I had a pretty good foot plan. Changed my socks and shoes out, lubed them up pretty good, dried them off when I could at like one or two of the aid stations, so it was good. Yeah, there's like not a sector out there too that I'm like, oh man, that's really looking strong. Everything's kind of in limbo. Kind of way. SMH looks really strong, bigger picture, to be honest, if I had to say. But like we knowing NVIDIA's got earnings, it's like who cares? News-wise, we have this week. Well, this already happened. The minutes, the Fed minutes came out at 2 p.m. and the market took a dump, and then now it's recovering. Tomorrow, jobless claims like usual on Thursday. PMI, new home sales. I don't think new home sales will matter that much, but PMI will be interesting at 9:45, which is such a dumb time, but whatever. And durable goods on Friday, nothing crazy. Monday, markets closed. Tuesday, not honestly, dude, not much. Like there really is not much, nothing massive. PCE next Friday. Okay, cool, but there's not a lot before that. That's like that big. Dollar's having a decent day, whereas the 10-year 10-year is like trying to actually dip lower. It was up more today. Now it's falling back. But yeah, the biggest thing is going to be NVIDIA. I really feel like that's where all the eyes should be anyway. Because everything else is kind of quiet. So NVIDIA down. It was down more and it's come back a bit. But that is the chart that we were waiting for. That's the overall, though, it's been strong for now. Can't deny that. So current positions, I have one on booking, which I didn't go massive on these because this is a stock I've never traded before. So I'm not going to be dumb and say, yeah, let's go huge size or let's start increasing size. Also, secondarily to that, there's absolutely no reason to be increasing my size after I have been on a really good winning streak or a hotter streak than my averages. So if anything, it's probably better to go size down. And then X as well. I have a short on X, which is United States Steel. Short on that, and then a long on booking, and a long on Bitcoin. And then I am interested in eBay. Not today, because there's only 14 minutes left in the day, but potentially tomorrow or whenever day it breaks out. This looks really good, and I would be looking at this on the bigger time frames for a trade above 53, targeting 57, and stop loss would be probably around the lows of this week, which are around 51. If it were to go tomorrow or Friday, Friday, tomorrow or Friday, if it broke out. I just love that chart, though. I love that look of the chart. I love it. I love it. So, but that one, who knows how long it would take? Because could take a couple of days or a couple of weeks, I mean, to pan out. So we wait. But then I got to be careful not to get in too many positions at the same time. But then again, they're different positions, different stocks. It's like, oh, well. It's not like I'm getting in 3 tech stocks. Well, could they be all counted as tech? I guess different. Depends upon how you want to view it. But if I was getting in 3 semiconductor stocks, okay, that's just dumb. Pick the strongest one and go with that. Shop's up decent on the day, but took a dump after earnings. I don't love the looks of the chart, but if you are a dip buyer saying, hey, I think we're going to go higher with risk on, I mean, it could be an opportunity. But if we fail underneath like $57 on Shop, that would not be great. So if we fail $57, be careful. I'm trying to line it up, but I couldn't get the exact line on 57, but it's close enough. Have to zoom in. $12 minutes until close. Damn, AMC fell back under 5. Dip by TGT. Personally, I mean, I'm not touching it, but it's a little bit weirder for me on this one because Shopify, well, Target bigger picture has the trend, Shopify has got a better trend, I feel like. A better uptrend than Target. Established Target's a lot choppier. Because that this massive gap down, big drops, gap up off earnings, gap up off earnings, now gap down off earnings. So you kind of have just a lot of like up and down action. So I'm not a massive fan of it. You check this hairline. My hair is thick, but shit goes back pretty far. That's always the thing. Whenever I get my haircut, they're like, "Oh, your hair is so thick." It's like, yeah, I know, but hopefully it stays that way because my dad does not have much hair. Block down 6% today. There's a lot of stocks I'm looking at now that move, man. They've been moving a lot percentage wise. They really do. There's some good stuff. If you look at risk on, they move a lot. Now, chop, a lot of chop as of late, so it's tough, but they do move a good amount. If you like playing chop, then there's been some stuff to play. mRNA stock spikes on bird flu worries. Oh, the bird flu. There you go. Bird flu. That's why. Now, is that a... I wouldn't fuck with that. Wouldn't mess with that at all. Honestly, if I wanted to go rogue, which I'm not gonna do because I built so much discipline over the past like 13 months of sticking to the same strategy. But like my rogueness or my like gut is like, yo, starting a short on mRNA somewhere up here doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Obviously, there's tons of risk in that, and it's not something I would advise people to do, but I don't think it's bird. It could be. I'm not a freaking scientist, so I don't know. But it's fun when these things move, like, oh, bird flu, or there's this news, that news, then the stocks move. It's cool because then they will eventually establish backside. It just shows you got some good vaccine stocks are pumping, and it shows you got some at least sector play. Market's somewhat hot. NVAX got freaking, was up a shit ton the past couple of weeks after their earnings. But Pfizer. Yeah, Pfizer was really weak, down at like sub 26. Now it's back at nearly $30. So Pfizer's doing pretty well. But yeah, mRNA apparently has a vaccine in phase 2 trials. So we were just reading. For this bird flu potential strain, I don't know how much that matters, if that really doesn't mean much. But if it does become a bigger deal, then they've got a potential vaccine closer than anybody else, maybe. Or they got a good shot at a vaccine, which means money for them, right, in theory, or that's the idea. So they're kind of like, yeah, hopefully we get this bird flu ripping and we can start making money off our vaccines. As fucked as that is. It's the way the world works, though, with all these industries. A lot of the health industry, if you think about it, healthcare and all this stuff. If people learn to feed themselves, I think, first off, with quality, you're going to minimize so many of the health concerns and problems that we currently have. But that is a negative for big pharma because they make money off of selling you the drugs that help you with your symptoms of high blood pressure or this, that, and the other thing, right? Diabetes, like, and it's all intertwined. But the biggest thing I think is it's not like a lot of it is not necessarily meant to kill people and whatever. I really don't think that's the case. But if you just consciously can step back and think about it, and to me, all I really think about that is like, I'm very much an experimental person. So like, if I'm noticing a problem or if I'm noticing something, I'm like, hey, let me try this. And one of the lately the things that I've been getting into has been like raw dairy, which might sound kind of weird to some people, but like raw cheese, raw milk, raw kefir, like things like non-pasteurized, because there's so much bacteria that is good for your gut that they kill off when they pasteurize these things. The downside is that you could get, by them pasteurizing, they're killing some of the bad bacteria that could harm you, could get you pretty sick. And so I'm like, your whole life you're told that, and I'm like, okay, well, let me try. If you go to get it from a quality source, okay, let me try. So now I've been trying it, and so far, to be honest with you, it felt better than ever after I saw, not like I want to say massively noticeable, but like I have not felt any negatives. If anything, it's been only a positive since incorporating raw dairy into the diet. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, that's a good thing, And then so it's like little things like that you just kind of test out for yourself versus what people would say. And like, as much as like a lot of, because you can find a million studies that are going to be good or bad for anything, because if people are going to handpick studies, that certain companies are going to fund studies that they're going to have, a view, they're going to have a bias, so it's like, you got to just try shit out for yourself. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If I got sick off of raw milk or whatever, then dude, guess what? I'm not drinking raw milk, so I'm done. And I guess it could happen. I could get sick at some point down the road, sure. But the same thing with any like vegetables, like they have recalls on a bunch of different shit, salmonella and this thing and that and this and that. Like, it could happen. It happens. There's not much you can do sometimes when you go to the store and buy stuff. Chicken's one of those things. I don't know if anyone's seen. There's a guy on Instagram and TikTok, I believe. I don't use TikTok, but I've seen him on Instagram, and he was, or maybe still is, doing an experiment where he was eating raw chicken like every day, and like raw eggs too in there. He was eating raw chicken and like raw eggs pretty much every single day for like a science experiment is what he was calling it. Because apparently chicken in the US is like one of the most contaminated things. Like, it's super dangerous to consume raw chicken. Apparently, like most of the chicken that you get off the shelves, or like a large percentage of the chicken off the shelves, has some sort of like, whether it's salmonella or whatever, that will get you sick. So he was like, let me just try. And he was going for months, I'm pretty sure, without getting sick, at least to our knowledge. Which I thought that was kind of crazy. But it goes to show, right? You can see the studies and people tell you this, but it's like, okay, well, let me try it. Do I believe it? I don't know. Let me see. Could have ended up in the hospital. Maybe he will. Maybe he is. Who knows? But could get super sick. But, he's testing it out for himself. And if he feels better doing that, then let him do it. Which is like the whole, brings it back to the whole freedom side of it. You have the ability to do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care what you do, and I don't think you should care what I do. But if it works for you, that's all that matters. Like, if you want to eat gross shit, but that's what makes you feel good, do it. Do it. If I want to eat gross shit, then I'm gonna freaking do it if I feel good and when I do it. And I like it. Random shit. As we're waiting on the end of the day here, that's just kind of the shit that we start spewing. So, market just closed. It's 4 p.m. See how long until we get NVIDIA earnings. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because, I mean, I'm suspicious that it will take some time to come out. But I hope that's not the case. Because we've been here before, and we've watched NVIDIA get absolutely blue ball us, and we just sit here for like what seems like hours and hours, not hours, but just a long time. Apple cider vinegar. I don't know what, like, apple cider vinegar apparently does a lot of good. I don't drink it like straight up, but apparently it's quite good for you for a whole bunch of reasons. So booking, and we do actually finish the day green. I'll take it. So that's the long. We got a long on that. eBay, I think tomorrow. If the market's up tomorrow, eBay could be the entry tomorrow. So we'll be watching that one. And then X finished up, but doesn't look super strong. So I like the shorts. I still like the looks we got. Positions, current positions, I think are pretty good where they are. But now we wait on NVDA. Anybody else sell in May and go away? But so she closed at just under 950. We'll see how it ends up shaking. All-time highs like 975 would be all-time high. Let's have some fun here. One of the only times I'll jump over on Twitter. 4:20 p.m. Okay, 4:20. So we got 15 minutes to fuck around. People asking if Pelosi's exited in video calls. It's fucking hilarious. Oh, Pelosi. 2.4 million on the position, dude. Oh, that's cool because I used to have unusual whales. I don't anymore. I used to, but I don't need it. It doesn't matter to me. But it's funny because whatever contracts, I guess the NVIDIA calls that they have, the 1220. So the Pelosi's probably they bought 120 calls on NVIDIA. 120 calls? What? 120 calls, dude? It's like a $900 song. I guess, right? Deep in the money calls. I mean, I guess. They bought 120s, and it's a. So they're not going to lose the entire thing. So it's like super, super safe, I guess. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to exit if she knows it's going to happen. This guy asks, how are you able to tell when she exits before the disclosure? Because you'll see the contracts volume. There'll be volume on the contracts. I don't know how many they have, but there will be volume. So whatever amount that they disclosed that they purchased back in the day, that you'll see, some volume go through when they exit. I would imagine is how you're going to find out. But when you think about it, though, it's kind of crazy because $2.4 million. Now, I guess her husband is really the one who's doing this, but it's a big play. It's a big chunk of change, I feel like, especially with a lot of eyes on you. Oh, look at that. Interesting. $100,000, so it's not that much money in the grand scheme from these politicians. What happens if they announce a 10-for-1 stock split? Dude, imagine. I think they're gonna drop a split soon. I think it's a smart play for them. However, if they do that and then the stock rips off the back of that, I'd be like, that's like, to me, it's like, oh, get out, trim. Mm-hmm. These are great. 10K invested in NVIDIA 10 years ago is now worth 2.2 million today. That's the man. Like, if you nail one of those, the problem with that is that, like, vast majority of people who hit, you know what I mean, on something like that, try and do it again, and then they lose a lot on attempting to do it again. What's NVDA? Is that the 2x long NVDA. Okay. About 10 minutes until then they drop earnings. Okay. We wait 9 minutes. Ah. Six minutes. Apparently, at least. Does it trigger a 1929 Great Depression, or do we get the start of the Roaring 20s just based off of NVDA earnings? Look at some other charts in the meantime. Meta. I think the problem is that a lot of charts are just in no man's land consolidation. Microsoft's better. That tried to break out. Couldn't do it though, but it tried the past 2 days. Apple's such a sharp mover up and down, it seems like. There's not a lot of like consolidate and then go. Amazon hit new all-time highs and has pulled back a little bit since, just chopping down. Google's been quite strong. The Russell. Tesla was really good yesterday, like we were saying before, but today, inside bar. So you zoom in, you were inside of the range of yesterday. Flippa is in the house, baby. No, yeah, they're dropping apparently at 420. That's what I heard. But yeah. But I'm tired. So I'm gonna wrap. No, I'm kidding. Just wrap up the stream seconds before NVIDIA comes out. But yeah, I was saying that before at the beginning. I might be interested in potentially streaming. I'm gonna test out live streaming on Kick, I think. Probably not interfering with the normal streams on YouTube for now, but maybe if Kick is cooler and I like Kick more, then I'm gonna just only stream on Kick at some point. But I won't just not say anything about it. I'll obviously talk about it if that's what I want to do. Yeah. Amazon has been moving more. All right, we're like 2 minutes out. 2 minutes. One minute. 32 seconds. No, I have not been streaming on Kick, but I will potentially be attempting to do so. Kick is like it's like a Twitch. It's like just another streaming platform that like pretty much is, from my understanding, is just streaming. So like it's all it is. Because the problem I have with YouTube is that I don't like how like I like it and I don't because it has too much in one place. Like it is cool, don't get me wrong, but the problem is that it's as of right now the algorithm stuff just like is kind of fucked because you could have someone like the whole notification system is retarded because they say that, oh well, if you click notifications then you'll be notified, oh, earnings coming out. Initially your reaction is negative. You'll be notified via, you know, whatever, someone goes live and stuff, but then you're not, and then you don't want to be notified for the lives, but you want to be notified for the videos, or you want the videos but not the lives. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you how many people don't even know that I do live streams, you know? Because they just don't know. They don't get notified. So it's like I don't know like if that's better or worse. So I'm going to test it out. Not like it's going to be no more YouTube, but I might just throw out some random kick streams. By the way, NVIDIA just hit all-time highs. And then see how it goes as like a test. And then if it's cool and I like it more, then I might eventually switch over and just do videos on here, like trade recaps. Like this way it's like all the same stuff is in one place. So like all the live streams are here. I guess I could make a separate channel, which people do. I don't know if I want to do that though. Separate for just lives and then separate for just trade recaps, you know, or whatever other videos. Because I don't know, I kind of like that ability to keep it consistent, but yeah, they do that after the close on purpose. That's how the game works. Yeah, there is definitely a delay on the stream too. I don't know how bad the delay is in other places, but I know there is a delay on YouTube. That's for sure. So, initial reactions. See if I can get a how much we want to trust this source, I don't know, but we'll go with it for now. EPS comes in above expectations. Revenue beats. Data center revenue beats. Margin beats. Dude, there's no way. Did they announce a stock split? No way. Did they? Dude, they did. I think they did. I haven't seen it confirmed though by like a trusted source yet, but it seems like they announced a 10-for-1 forward stock split. I have no NVIDIA, by the way. I'm just looking at these videos. These memes are good. Yeah, apparently they announced a 10-for. Yep, there it is. 10-for-1 stock split. Damn. Effective June 7th. So like a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So the stock is crushing. Well, we'll see if it holds up. It's only up 4%, which I mean, only up 4%. But the stock is crushing right now. Did it hit 1,000? Oh, it hit just shy of 1,000. Just shy. I mean, if it's going to break 1,000, I think we could do it here. 10-for-1, baby. So essentially $1,000 NVIDIA stock turns into $100, right? Yes, I mean, if you have, let's say NVIDIA's $1,000, come the day that they do the split, you will now, NVIDIA will be now $100. And you will have 10 for every share. Kind of cool. For those who are involved, kind of cool. So elsewhere across the board, you now have in the after hours, SPY up 0.2 QQQ hitting a new all-time high. Although it did hit a new all-time high this morning. That's a trade, dude. Now that I look at it, that is a trade on S&P futures right there. That is a trade setup to me. Tonight I'll be watching that. If I'll have an alert on it crossing up. Let me just adjust it a tiny bit more. 53.50. Yeah, if we break above that blue line this evening and overnight, that is a definite trade setup in my opinion for a breakout. Right, I like this, like pull back, sucker some shorts, break that level, and then I think that gives you some pop. We'll see though. But I like the look of that, and then, you know, it's not, doesn't look like it's gonna break right now, but it does look like something to be watching the next couple hours. See if it happens overnight. If not tonight, tomorrow, could be something to watch. Yeah, that's for sure. In the meantime, NVDA can't get 1,000 yet. It's close though. A lot of sales at 1,000, I would imagine. Gonna make it easier for retail, yeah. So here's what happened. Here's my take. If you are in NVIDIA and after the split it then goes to 1,000, definitely a good time to sell. Imagine another 10x from here. Jeez. Ate too much. Good night. Good night. I need to be eating more, so I gotta go eat some more. But that said, I think I'm gonna wrap things up. We'll see how this shakes out. It so far beat 10-for-1 split, beat some numbers, beat on expectations. Cool. Will it hold up? We'll see. Either way, it just popped a new all-time high, and everyone is kind of happy, I guess. But we'll see if it holds up overnight. That is the big thing to watch. Tomorrow's Thursday. I think I'll do a stream in the morning. I should. Yeah. We should stream in the morning tomorrow, and then I'll be back on Friday for an afternoon stream. I might do a morning kick stream on Friday to test it out, but I think tomorrow morning I'll do a normal YouTube stream. What I think I'm going to do to test things out is do like a 30-minute, do like a couple 30, like, I don't know, maybe I got to look more into it, like a couple shorter streams on Kick to see if it works, how it works, get a feel for it, and do them like when I have the time, and yeah, just go from there. So thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.